eBay has just agreed to pay a $3 million fine after ex-executives of the company participated in what can only be described as a truly psychopathic harassment campaign. Now, specifically, those former employees did everything in their power to make an innocent couple's lives hell, including, but not limited to, sending them live spiders and a bloody pig's mask. Now, this poor couple named David and Ina Steiner wrote a newsletter called EcommerceBytes that was somewhat critical of eBay, and company officials were so mad with what the Steiners were writing. From WBZ News, the harassment started in 2019 after Ina Steiner wrote a story about a lawsuit brought by eBay that accused Amazon of poaching its sellers, according to court records. A half hour after the article was published, eBay's then CEO, David and Ina, sent another top executive a message saying, if you are ever going to take her down, now is the time, according to court documents. 30 minutes after this article was published, 30 minutes, and this guy is plotting his evil deeds. He was monitoring what they were saying. It just gets more insane, and we'll get into those details. So after that, ex-eBay executives did quite literally everything, and we do mean everything they could, to torment the Steiners. Along with a box of live spiders and live cockroaches, the couple had a funeral wreath with a bloody pig mask and a book about surviving the loss of a spouse show up at their door, which is, in my opinion, absolutely a threat. But it continues on. Ina Steiner received harassing and sometimes threatening Twitter messages, as well as dozens of strange emails from groups like an irritable bowel syndrome patient support group and the Communist Party of the United States. Hey, Ina, don't knock it till you try it. The Communist Party, not irritable bowel syndrome. But it also continues on. The employees also posted the couple's address on Craigslist, inviting the public for sexual encounters at their home. They posted their address and invited complete strangers over to their house for sex parties. These are top level executives at eBay. And it just keeps getting crazier because James Bao, eBay's then senior director of safety and security, at one point recruited former executive David Harville to go with him to Boston to spy on the Steiners, authorities said. Bao, Harville, and another eBay employee went to the couple's home in the hopes of installing a GPS tracker on their car, prosecutors said. Now, 7 eBay employees have been already convicted for their role in the harassment campaign. And I'll throw it to you guys. When I was reading this, my jaw just kept dropping further and further and further because this had been going on for years. This is the first I'd ever heard of it. But this is just truly despicable stuff.
Yeah, it's completely unhinged. I've never personally been this mad at anybody for anything. Obviously the spiders is scary. Cockroaches, listen, them things get in your house. It's very hard to get rid of. That's dangerous stuff they're doing. But who knows? Maybe the Steiners are into that kind of kinky stuff and would have invited the Craigslist hookup. Who knows?
There is a company out there, there's a business out there that if you want to send excrement to somebody that you don't like, you can do it. I don't think it's real excrement and I think it's fake, but it basically is a way of sending that person a message. And oh, by the way, you can do it anonymously so they can't track it back to you. That's the professional way. And I must confess, I once had a colleague that I was so mad at that I thought about sending some to her. And then I thought, nah, that's just kind of juvenile. And I wasn't an executive or a CEO or a CFO or chief security officer of a multi-million-dollar company like eBay. These guys, to me, it just suggests that whatever the Steiners were writing really stuck, that they struck a nerve, that perhaps the Steiners were onto something in terms of what they were writing about, and that eBay knew that they were vulnerable to these reports. And so rather than eBay just ignoring it, they just went crazy, but they went crazy in such a juvenile fashion. I'm glad that the criminal justice system stepped in and that these 7 eBay executives and staffers have gone to jail. I feel badly for the Steiners. I mean, they've survived this. I hope eBay does not survive.
And we're public figures, right? We all experience harassment to some extent. It's never been anything like this. I one time had a member of my community send me a dehydrated spider as a joke because they knew how much I hated spiders. But if someone sent live spiders and cockroaches to my house, I'm setting it on fire. That's not, I can't live in that anymore. It's uninhabitable at that point.
Yeah, I've had people be pretty pissed at me on the internet, said messed up things, try to get me fired, canceled, blah 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 blah. And I've definitely sat on my couch at times like, man, I wish I could see this person in public and give them a good smack in the back of the head. But that's about as far as it's gone. I've never thought like, how do I get their address or how do I get back at them? It's kind of just like, you know what, I'm just pretty happy in my life and keep it pushing. I think these executives, by the way, at eBay could have easily done the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they said, look, if you really want to bother somebody who's a critic of yours, you ignore them, right? And just pretend they don't exist. Or you treat them so nicely and you send them a thank you for your wonderful column and your letter, and you just bathe them with happiness, which really suggests to the critics it's like a big FU to that person. So the fact that eBay didn't have somebody advising them saying, look, here are the ways, if you really want to get even with these people, here's how you do it. The fact that they decided to go the juvenile route, the route that 9 and 10-year-olds do when they're trying to, I don't know, light poop bags on fire on the neighbor's front doorstep and then pressing the doorbell hoping they'll come out and stomp on it. That was funny when you were 9 or 10 years old, although I didn't engage in that. But seriously, the fact that you're an executive at eBay and you're pulling off spiders and cockroaches and funeral wreaths, I mean, that's just like, those people should never be executives of anything again.
Right. And hey, maybe the thing that the Steiners were onto in their reporting was the fact that the C-suite at eBay is just sitting around planning Home Alone style pranks and traps instead of actually doing their jobs.
Thanks for watching. If you become a member, you get to watch all this ad-free, except for, of course, this ad. Still, hit the join button below.